he dove into the fire. He jumped out of her hands into the fire.
Wow.
Me and my mom laughed. And that's when I realized we have the same sense of sick humor. Alexi and I had a drink before.
Just one.
I had a
Just one, but it was pancake beer and it was 10%.
When you say pancake beer, this is
Blueberry pancake sour radler from Strathcona. And it actually had maple syrup in it.
Right.
And it sounds like it's going to be trash. And then I've gotten it 2 days in a
Yeah.
row. Like I wanted to go there today to get it. Like so good.
I didn't look at the percentage until we got up to the till
I
to
didn't
pay,
even
and
tell
I
her.
was like, oh, it's 10. It was 10%. I'm
didn't
like,
even tell her.
Radler?
No, it's
No.
a sour.
Okay.
sorry.
was
Yeah.
like,
I added that
That's-
word.
It's like those
I
are
just thought it'd be fun to
those
say.
are competing concepts.
To be honest, just want to say it sometimes.
Yeah. It's an India Pale Radler.
Listen, I'm stupid, okay, Colin?
The more words that are in it, the more it's like a craft beer.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I guess. I don't
Get
know.
some words in it.
Um,
Minimum of one acronym.
Get some words in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're recording Colin Sharp. I want to thank you so much for coming here
Hey.
today. I've been trying to have you on the show for a while. We are friends. And right now I'm going to compliment you in a way that you didn't expect to be complimented. So get ready, okay?
Look, I expect to be complimented in a lot of different ways.
Not this
I wouldn't
way.
rule it out. Okay.
Not
all
this
right.
way. Many people have described you as the funniest texter in the world.
Funniest texter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a craft, there's an art form to being funny via text. And it's not like you're relying on memes or anything. You're just funny in that, you know what I mean?
I am a professional writer. That is my day job.
I didn't know that because I was involved in a little thing with your day job
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that it was like a writing thing.
Yeah. So that is like the genesis of my job. Like I got into it through it's a job just in the tech industry. We
Yeah.
live in Vancouver.
Right.
It's like, hey, do you know how to use a keyboard? Well, step
we
one
got a
done.
job for you.
Do you know how to use a keyboard but not know how to code? We can
Yeah.
slot you in somewhere.
We really need your
We
help.
can work on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started like in like kind of marketing copywriting. And on top of that, I was the editor of the humor section at the student newspaper
No
in
way.
university. So at the Peak up at SFU.
No
Oh, cool.
way.
Yeah. So I was writing humor stuff
Yeah.
well before I ever like spoke humor into
Okay.
a microphone. Debatable if I even have done that
Yes,
yet.
you have. I've seen you. Very funny. Very funny person.
But yeah, interesting that this is a
A topic of discussion.
that has gone around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I didn't bring a trophy for it, but
No,
I'll just
but-
take one of the plaques off the wall.
anything
on my
for
way.
Yes,
you.
one of the Nickelback ones.
Take
Yeah.
I suggest the Coleman Hell one. It's a lot of records sold. You could, if you grew a beard, you might look a little bit like him. So I think that's a good one to take home.
That's
Okay.
fair.
You don't know who Coleman Hell is, I can tell.
Yeah, no, I don't. Based on your description, I'm picturing someone that looks like me.
Absolutely.
But with a beard.
Handsome.
Okay, yeah. So someone that looks like I looked like 7 years ago.
You had a beard 7 years ago?
I had a full beard for quite some time.
I've never seen it.
I can't picture you with anything
this
else.
tone here of just like, well, I didn't personally see it,
Yeah,
so
and if
how
I
am I
haven't
to
seen-
believe you?
If I haven't seen it, then it doesn't exist. COVID. Just kidding.
Yeah, no,
I
I,
believe in
I
COVID.
shaved from the beard. I had the beard for like 4 years, and then I
Mm.
shaved down to the mustache, and then it's just stayed.
You suit the mustache really well. I
Absolutely.
must
Thank you
say.
very much.
I can't
Absolutely.
imagine you with anything else now.
Well, you don't have to.
I say don't
Here
do
you
it.
are.
I say
I'm gonna
don't.
open this. I've been like,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
like, kind of like, should I do my like little trick that I?
Oh, are you ready, Colin?
I have a trick.
She has a trick.
I have
I'm
a trick.
excited.
Do it.
I
I'm
didn't want to be
excited.
rude and like, okay.
Give your trick.
Kevvy doesn't seem excited. I am excited.
No, I'm very excited. I'm just
He's
gonna
kind
watch.
of like, oh, here we go.
no.
again.
I am
Ugh.
excited. I'm just watching Colin while you do this. I'm not gonna look at her.
Okay. This is a trick.
It's catchy. It's catchy. Hear that noise
It's not
she
really a
made?
trick.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd describe that as a trick.
It's not a trick.
I don't know how she did it.
Yeah. That is the other side of that, where anything is a trick if you're dumb enough.
Yeah, and I have a single-digit IQ, so everything's cool to me.
Yeah.
Colin, what kind of day jobs did you have before being a copywriter?
I was mostly like working like summer jobs.
Yeah.
Before that, so like as you go through the years, it's like I was a camp counselor. In
Really?
high school. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Perfect for what?
Perfect for your charming sensibilities and mustache.
Well,
man.
but I'm assuming that maybe wasn't, you didn't have the mustache then, right?
This does predate the mustache. This
Okay.
does predate the beard.
Okay.
This was me, fresh faced, 17 years old.
Wow.
Just having fun with kids.
Okay.
It's like, so I would like, it was just like summer jobs in between university, right? So
Mhm.
like I worked there at the summer camp. It was a Christian summer camp too.
I was gonna ask.
Oh.
Yeah, that's like the biggest genre of summer camp, I find.
Well, it's funny because I went to a basketball camp that was a Christian one when I was
Oh,
a
I went to a
teenager.
This is the one at
Basketball
Trinity
camp?
Western.
It was in Abbotsford, and I didn't know it was
Yeah.
a Christian one. I just wanted to go to basketball camp, and
I might have gone to the same one.
It was called Athletes in Action, and
Yes.
they literally
I've
would
been.
be like, "Okay, first we're gonna do free throws, practice drills, and then we're gonna do Bible passage reading." And it was literally like, I don't need that part for my game. I don't think spirituality.
That's wild. I don't know if I went to, like, I can't even, I feel like I would have blocked that out, but like now I'm trying to
Just-
think about it. I'm like, did we do passages? I did go
know.
to basketball camp.
Yeah, I went to Athletes in Action.
You did.
Like the 1 year, whatever.
Mhm.
Like I certainly didn't sign up because I was like, finally, my two loves in one
passions.
place.
Merged.
But yeah, I was like, oh, basketball, sweet,
Yeah.
do it. And I know that there were like
Yeah.
Bible study sessions, but like my big takeaway from that weekend was
Grabbing rebounds.
sorry,
Grabbing rebounds.
yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to-
Nobody's ever seen my body type and gone like, yeah, he's a monster on the glass.
I don't know. You're a Suns guy, Barkley.
Yeah, there we go. I could be the
Same mustache.
what's the opposite of a round mound? A long.
Long pond.
A long pond. That's the name of
Here
the
we go.
episode. A long pond.
But at the basketball camp, I do remember. No, I don't even remember any of the basketball drills.
Mm.
I just remember at night leaving the dorms, and one of our counselors caught a frog. And then he just came, like, this is a guy that's theoretically in charge of us.
Yeah.
And he just comes back in like with the smallest frog, and he's like holding it like this.
But this is one of God's creatures.
Holding it just like,
This is-
it's like,
Yeah.
put me down.
The
Be
frog.
back in the water with my
The
face.
frog, ironically, is an atheist. Is like, you guys are idiots. Doink into the pond. I remember I went to a family camping trip when I was like 13 or something, and I remember my little cousin caught a frog and she was holding it, and then my grandfather was like, "I wouldn't bring that frog near the fire if I were you,"
Oh,
and she
no.
didn't listen. And instead of being her pet, he dove into the fire. He jumped out of her hands into the fire.
Wow.
And me and my mom laughed. And that's when I realized we have the same sense of sick humor.
So,
It would
how
rather
many
have
times has the grandfather seen a frog jump into the fire? Just like,
like,
all right, kid.
He's like,
I got a few extra decades on you.
yeah. This old
I'm
adage. I've seen this play out hundreds of times. Let me give you some advice real quick. Not gonna listen to me, huh? All right, this is gonna make it into a podcast someday.
I've met the frogs at this lake. And
we used to catch frogs when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember my younger brother, he was like 3 or 4 at the time, and he caught a frog because they were just abundant in my yard. You could really catch them pretty easily. I remember he was so excited, and he was walking around and he was holding the frog, and he's like, "I caught a frog."
Yeah.
And he's holding it. And as he's going around showing people, I'm noticing his grip is getting tighter.
Oh,
and
no.
tighter. But he is able to elude me for a period of time, and I'm like, that frog is probably dead.
Yeah.
And he was able to get away. And when he finally comes back, sure enough, he's holding the frog, and it's like lifeless body is like in his hand, and he's like, he's not moving anymore.
He's
What's
lost
going
his
on?
zest for life.
He just didn't want to give up the frog. He didn't understand that he was killing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You hurt the ones you love.
He's in a mental institution now.
But I just, being a really sentimental child, I took it in both
Mhm.
hands. I was like, no.
Oh, man.
Put it back in the water. Oh,
Bring him
God.
back to life. Oh, yeah. It was,
Playing
it was
dead
playing dead. Very good one, Froggy.
for a frog that's pretty smart.
Oh man, do you think the
Super
frog
smart.
jumping into the fire thought it was just a trick? Like, hold on. Step 1, jump in fire.
Yeah. Step 2.
2, question mark.
Stop.
Step 3,
Yeah.
it flies. I don't know.
We all know step 2 is stop, drop, and roll, Colin.
Right.
Even for frogs.
I'm just gonna play dead in this fire
Yeah.
until they go inside.
I just love how much frog talk we've been doing. I've been waiting all day for it.
But then I went on to work.
Mhm.
I had another summer job. I was at a garden center
Okay.
on the North Shore.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
What were your duties?
It was mostly carrying bags of soil to
Okay.
old ladies, like Camrys.
So you
know?
got shredded. Go on.
It actually, yeah, not like I'm just outside
Yeah.
all day, just like lifting things.
Fuck yeah, dude.
getting tanned.
Tan Colin, budding mustache.
But like I did like a summer previously, I worked a job literally digging trenches for a
Holy
landscape
dude.
irrigation company, and that's the one where you're like, all right, shirts off,
Yep.
like
Looking like Ned Flanders.
looking hardcore like Ned Flanders. Like whatever housewife you're digging them for, you just want to look impressive enough that she brings you out a freezy.
Abs.
Like,
Pink, yes.
Did it all for the
Yeah.
freezy. And then the freezy hacked the corners of your mouth up with that plastic casing.
You got to work.
That's
through
why
the
I don't
pain.
like freezies.
fair.
You got to work through the pain.
It's tough. Wow. So
It is a good lesson for children.
mhm.
Just like, hey, not everything comes easy.
Absolutely.
Like you
It's
gotta,
You like the
Making everything-
taste, but you have to pay the price.
yeah,
You know?
it's valuable.
Absolutely.
It's true.
But at the garden center, I didn't get a chance to get his tanned because you gotta wear.
They have a shirt policy there.
There's like a whole uniform policy. There's a logo.
Mm,
All this.
gotta
you know?
represent. Yeah.
But because I'm walking around a garden center wearing a shirt of said garden center, a lot of people would make the mistake that I knew anything.
Oh my God.
Just a lot of, oh, what's this? I'm like, you water it.
Yeah.
Like
They're like,
that's
excuse
the
me, what's your
extent of it.
favorite bark mulch?
I'm just
Like,
carry
don't
the
have
bags, ma'am.
one. I don't have one.
I'm just the labor.
Yeah.
I am the bottom rung of capitalism. I am.
I'm just the body.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I do remember one time, some old man, he comes in and he wants to ask me a question about these flowers. I'm like, I got nothing. And I'm like, oh, but here's the expert. Here's Justine. Justine's our resident know everything person.
Yeah.
And so old man pulls a little Ziploc bag out of his pocket and it's got these flowers in it that are just dried to shit.
Holy-
And who knows what these flowers have been through, but the man liked these flowers and he wanted them in his life again. So
Yeah.
he's like, ma'am, I like these flowers a lot. I just don't know what they're called. I want them again. Can you tell me what these flowers are called?
Oh my God.
And this sounds like it's from a sitcom script,
Yeah.
but she looks at them and she goes, oh, these are forget-me-nots.
Whoa, she knew it?
Yeah, she knew it.
Holy shit.
And the whole name
That's
of them.
ironic. Because he did forget.
That's the only badge I got in Girl Guides. Is a forget me not.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
For having a bad memory, I was also in a psych
It's
ward.
the badge you get when you get no badges.
Yeah. It's just a sash with no badges. That's the.
I had one badge.
That's
I
great.
don't know. Do you have summer jobs? What were your summer jobs? like?
Yeah, I worked. Alexi heard this, but I worked at Playland, and I worked in this part of Playland where your ride pass didn't count. So it was like a kid zone. So people would line up for a long time, get all the way to the beginning, to the front of the line, and be like, "Yeah, you got to get tickets for that." And by then, the kid was just a screaming mess because it's so hot. And then I worked in this thing there called the Euro Bungee, where we'd hook people up to harnesses and like make them bounce really hard. And I heard a bunch of people doing that. And then some gang members threatened me there. It was like this is when I realized my mom is fearless. Is that she used to pick me up there when I was like 14.
Yeah.
And she picked me up one time and we were walking to her car and we get in and we're pulling out of the parking lot of Playland. And these obvious gang members that had inflatable hammers they'd won at Playland from like a dart game or a beat an old person up with a club game or something. They had these inflatable hammers and they just walked up and like whacked the back of my mom's car with the inflatable hammer. The obvious move here is just keep driving. My mom, super confrontational Japanese woman, got it and was like, the fuck are you doing? You trying to hurt me, you idiot? To this 6'6" guy, and he was like, "Oh!" Like it just took him off guard, and they laughed, the other guys, and then the guy that she was yelling at, and she's like pointing, and I was like, I know how this goes. I've had this happen to me before. Her pointing in my face, teaching me something. He's like, "Can I have your number?" And then my mom went, "I'm too old for you." And we got in the car and drove away, and she's like,
Oh my God.
idiots. So anyway, you can better do chores when you get home. Yeah, she's
Your
fearless.
Your mom is a badass.
She's super badass. She didn't care about those guys at all.
That's fantastic.
They beat me up. 14. Yeah.
I guess that's a very different customer set than I was dealing with at the garden center.
No one threatened you with an inflatable hammer there?
No, people got mad, but not in any reason. You'd never have a reason that they would hurt you,
Why would they get mad, Colin?
They would get mad because I didn't know anything.
What
What are you even doing here?
What are you doing? Take off the shirt. I'm like, I wish I could.
Yeah, you didn't earn that.
You should have seen me last summer.
Yeah.
I once had a lady start being nice to me.
Oh.
And then get mean.
What?
I was like,
What an ambush.
So I don't know the answer to anybody's questions, but I can point out where things are in the
Mm.
store, Like, I'm looking for flowers. I'm like, that's over there.
Yeah.
Great. I'm looking for ferns. That'll be over there.
Mm-hmm.
And simple question. And then she goes, and I did have the beard at this point. So I had full
Okay.
beard.
Okay.
And she goes, hey, is anybody, I'm sure you get this all the time, but you look just like Joshua Jackson.
Hey.
This is Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
He's very
at the
he's a
time.
heartthrob.
This is at the time. Fringe, I believe, was the show.
Right.
So
Joshua Jackson was like on the cover of like Teen Bop, if that's a magazine. I think I just made that up.
Teen Bop.
Teen Tiger Bombs.
See, Teen Bop is like Kids Bop, but for teens.
Yes.
They cover songs teens like. Yeah.
And yeah, so in Fringe, Joshua Jackson had like a full beard, like your standard kind of close crop beard.
Yep.
It was the same beard because people that like if you have any facial hair, people ignore the rest of your face and compare you to other celebrities that have that facial hair.
Yeah.
Like people see this and they're like, Tom Selleck, Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are two very different people aside from one mustache.
Yeah.
It's
Charles
very true.
Barkley. Is he wearing that shirt? So she said you look like Joshua Jackson.
And she like downplayed it the whole time getting into you probably get this all the time. You're probably sick of hearing this. You're probably gonna roll your eyes. Hey, look, another customer coming up to you telling you look like Pacey from Dawson's Creek, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
You look like Joshua Jackson. And I was like, that's the first time anybody's ever said that to me. She's like, what?
I'm mad at you now.
Like, yeah, nobody's ever said that to me. That can't be true.
Wow.
Like, I'm sorry to disappoint you in this scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did to you here.
Yeah.
But yeah, just truly shocked. And I'm like,
I like that idea of her being like, you have the same beard as him. Everyone has the same beard except Mr. T and Vinnie Paul from Pantera. They have lines shaved into their beards. Everybody else has the same beard.
yeah, it's that beard or it's ZZ Top beard.
ZZ Top. Oh, that's the other one.
Yeah.
And then there's some guys in the early 90s that had like would braid their beard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't like that? You look disgusted by that. Like,
I think rightfully so. I'm disgusted by that.
I remember one time reading in an old magazine They had a word for that. When
This
they would
thing?
like,
The
when they
System of a Down?
No, just the whole style.
Okay.
They called it, and I don't even know if you can say this anymore. Metrosexual?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
Metrosexual was...
My understanding of it is very different.
Yeah,
than
same,
braided
because I thought
beard.
it was like heterosexual men that had the fashion of a homosexual man is what I
I don't
thought
know
it
if
was.
that's an offensive thing to say nowadays. I read it in a magazine, and they were describing guys that had like the very like
No,
braided-
At the very least, I am not the person to decide whether it's offensive.
I don't know. You didn't work at Garden Center.
Okay. However, just to be safe, I won't say it. But no, my understanding of the term was basically just like a lot of like early 2000s, like, hey, are you a guy that wears button-ups that fit? Like,
Yeah, and your
That
clothes
was
are
it.
clean.
yeah, oh, you close it?
Metrosexual.
metrosexual.
Huh, every day you shower.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Did a sit up before, huh? Weird. Okay, you need your own term. Yeah, now that I said that thing about beards, I'm realizing there are lots of different kind of beards because there's like the Fred Durst beard that was just down here also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's then you're
Abraham
looking
Lincoln.
at like into variants on goatees and things.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
I think there's a lot of variants there. You know, when you get into mustaches and little. like,
Yes.
hey,
yes.
is it in this little part or is it in this
Oh,
little
Soul
part?
Patch
is it
or
down?
Flavor Saver?
You know, I dated my boyfriend Jeffrey.
Oh, he's getting another
Um,
shout out. Let's see if he gets insulted this time.
He hasn't listened to the past episodes where
Randy
we
knew-
insulted him.
Randy Newmeyer came on here and slammed the shit out of him one time, and I was like, whoa.
Jeffrey gets brought up a lot
Hey.
on this podcast.
Jeffrey, you great. Keep
Yeah,
it up.
See that?
Everything you do makes the world a better place.
Colin Sharp, seal of approval. You just got.
There
I'd
we
like
go.
to meet him sometime.
You guys should. You guys both have excellent facial hair.
Oh,
But
great.
to my point, too, I dated him for like 3 years without actually seeing his face because he had a glorious beard the whole time. And only recently he shaved it off just so I could see.
Mm-hmm.
And then he grew back.
And you're like, Jeffrey, are you here still?
Yeah.
Where have you gone?
I had
Didn't
no
recognize him
idea
anymore.
what was under the beard. It was just long enough that I'm like, I don't know, like what. And it turns out he's got a cute little baby face, a
Aw.
little chin. I didn't
That's
know that.
cute.
I had no idea.
He has the Stitches tattoo, that rapper that has like the Joker's mouth tattooed over his mouth. That's why he has a beard.
I feel like you get rid of most people's beard, and like the answer is they have a baby face underneath it.
That's why you
It's
have
like
it in the first
nobody
place.
nobody shaves their beard, and people are like, whoa, I had no idea your chin was an innie.
Yeah. You look older now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you worked at the garden center. I feel
Yeah.
like when they hired you, it's their fault for not teaching you more things. I mean, you wouldn't be
I mean,
expected.
they taught me the relevant things, like lift
Yeah.
with your knees, you know?
Okay, that is important. Yeah, that place is like the Home Depot, but for outside. Sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Strictly
That's a
outdoors.
good analogy I did, I think.
Home Depot for outside. Yeah. Plants, soil, pots.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sometimes you really nail the analogies.
Sometimes, I mean, we did just have a drink that had 10% alcohol in it. And so now she and I are both, I mean, I'm red faced, which you can't
You're
talk.
yeah, nobody's gonna know because this is
I get
all in
pink
black and
'cause
white
I'm
when we put it out.
Asian. My mom has a glass of wine. Everything's funny to her and she falls off her chair. So I just get a little pink and my analogies go to shit. That's basically what happens. Could have been worse, that garden center one. I think we're okay, though. I think
No,
we're
it
in
was
okay
good.
shape. Yeah.
It's okay. We're okay. We're safe.
I love that you brought your own old fashioned. That is the classiest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
You see that, Jeffrey? Jeff?
Jeff, it's easy.
It's easy. No, I wasn't slamming. I'm saying this is
Yeah.
the kind of guy I likes you. He's a classy gentleman. Now I understand the Ron Swanson comparisons now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you
Although,
go.
no, he's a moonshine guy.
He's a moonshine, and he's in like Scotch ads. At
Oh,
least
cool.
The actor is.
That- Yeah. I forget that actor's name now, but I like that he might as well just be Ron Swanson in real life because he.
Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
It took me a second.
Ah,
It took me a second. I
yes.
was like,
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
I'm supposed to know this.
You're like,
there's a camera on me right now.
this is embarrassing. He's basically my namesake. I look just like him. He builds his own canoes and stuff in real life.
He's a woodworker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
And There's legitimately there's a Scotch ad that's him doing a Christmas like Yule log thing
Oh.
where there's a fire going beside him. There's Ron Swanson in a chair, and he's drinking Scotch. I want to say it's Lagavulin. I'm not entirely sure.
Sounds
though.
like a great name.
And it's just he doesn't say anything. He just slowly drinks his Scotch for 45 minutes while a fire goes.
Oh,
And it's like the thing you can just put on your TV
I love it.
and enjoy.
Oh, I
Love
love
it.
that.
We've been talking about that. We should start a YouTube channel just of things other than fireplaces.
I'm advertising an advertisement.
I love
I
that.
love it.
Willing to do that.
That's a really
It's so meta.
forward-thinking advertisement. Having one that long that's that calming.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's good.
Yeah, yeah. Colin, did you ever meet any celebrities at Garden Center?
Wow. Now,
Funny you should ask.
what made you inquire?
I don't know.
about
Everyone
that?
loves a good garden center.
Yeah, I mean, so in addition to being accused of looking like a celebrity,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if accused is the right word.
There's a
It
wanted
sounded like it
poster of
from
you
that one woman.
of Joshua
Yeah.
Jackson
You've never heard that
from Urban Legends on the wall.
No, so this is a garden center on the North Shore,
Yeah.
and one of the regular clients was the author Douglas Copeland.
Okay.
He would come in and buy trees
Oh.
for his yard. And
Treats for his yard.
Trees
you
for his
did
yard.
work at Garden Center with that kind of terminology.
But it's like when you meet a celebrity, like it's usually like, oh, you're two ships in the night, they're doing something unrelated.
Mhm.
But then or you're like at a show and you're seeing them like really go for it, like doing the thing they're good at.
Oh yeah.
This was like where those two things mixed, where here's this guy who's a famous author and he wanted to get this tree delivered. And so he like writes out like on the delivery form, like his address and stuff. And then this is for me. This is a thing for me. He's writing this for me.
Now you got his address.
And
Time
then
for some
it's like
stalking.
special instructions.
Okay.
Oh.
And I saw it on the board and I saw that he wrote something there. And I was like, famed author Douglas Copeland.
Has
How
written
special will these special instructions be? And I just take a look and it's just all it says, driveway crazy steep. It's just like, oh, okay. So
You're an author. And
So when you
that's-
take the day off, you take the day off.
Yeah.
Oh, I get
Like,
that.
no effort whatsoever.
I mean, it makes sense. When I used to cook, I used to go and make these pastas and everything, and then when I'd get home, I'd make myself a mayo and ketchup sandwich.
Mayo and ketchup. I
That's
never heard of that
is
combination.
That's a lazy meal. That's a mayo
Yeah.
chip. Mayo chip.
Is
Yeah.
that-
You take the day off, right? You can't be at your craft all the time.
You took the day off so much you made yourself something you don't even like.
Oh, it's good though. It's good. It's just
Yeah,
lazy.
for this sandwich, instead of a filling, I'll just add a second condiment.
Just fill it with condiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can understand that,
Oh yeah, I
taking
get
the day off.
it. I appreciate it. In the moment, I think I was disappointed. I was like, oh, I could have written this.
You wanted a hot stanza.
I've called a driveway crazy steep before.
You could have written this,
Where's
but you
my
didn't
book
write
deal?
it.
It's on its way.
He
Colin.
wrote it first.
Hey, it took him 20 years of writing to learn how to write that.
He had to unlearn lessons, man.
He learned the rules so he could break them.
Exactly. That's so cool.
My top celebrity, David Suzuki. I met him.
I almost called him the Nature Boy, and I realized it's Ric Flair's nickname. The Nature Boy, David Suzuki. Go on.
kind of
You
a
know what?
nature
They
boy.
should even just for one episode, one wrestling match, and one episode of the Nature thing, they should swap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I see no downsides.
I see Ric Flair going into a forest and just improving it somehow. Just by being there,
being
really.
there.
Yeah. The trees have a new pep in their step.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is David Suzuki like BC based or is he like worldwide? I've always been confused about that because he's from here, right?
Yeah.
But is he like worldwide? Like, is he like world renowned?
I would say he's Canada famous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think so?
he's Canada famous and extending into like if you're in environmental circles,
Yeah.
like people worldwide might know him a little bit more,
Mhm.
but not not a name
Mm.
that people would know.
Real
Household
question
name.
is how many bird feeders do you think he's got in his house? Hundreds.
I mean,
What if it's just 0?
yeah. What if he's like, I want to keep them in the forest?
Yeah. He's like, I leave my work at work.
When he gets home,
The
he wants
forest.
just concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just in
He
there
takes-
polluting.
Takes the day off.
He really takes the
That's
day
a
off.
callback. That's my first one.
Yeah, we were just talking about callback. Happy.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
Don't call it a callback.
I've been here for years.
See, that was a segue into us talking old school hip hop, which I knew would happen.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Who is your top 3 favorite MCs?
Oh, we talked.
Oh, wait.
So favorite
Oh,
versus best.
Did we not finish Suzuki?
No, we didn't.
Oh yeah, I mean,
She wants to know.
I want to
you
know
legitimately
more.
want to know. So I will say this to start it off. Anybody watching this? Hi. Anybody watching this that's like seen my stand up? Apologies. I do a bit about this, but it is a real story.
Okay.
It's a real story. And because I met David Suzuki when I was like 11 years old.
Yeah.
My family was on like a little summer vacation. We were on Hornby Island,
Okay.
and my mom like found out that he was gonna be at this like community garden near
Mhm.
there, and it's like I don't know how often are you like Hornby Island and a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, we're here for a week. We can take an afternoon,
Yeah.
go see a guy from TV,
Mhm.
and we went, hung out in this community garden, and got to like talk to David Suzuki for a minute.
That's cool.
And I shit you not, maybe like 17 seconds into talking to him, a dragonfly flutters up and lands in his beard. I was like, oh, this is life animated by Disney.
Yeah.
Like this is absurd. Like this is like Mother Nature like co-signing this man to the full extent. Like, hey,
Wow.
we're comfortable with him. He can speak for us. Like,
That's amazing. And that is a unique beard.
Yeah.
Rife with dragonflies.
yeah,
Never
it could've-
heard of that before.
Dragonflies.
It could accommodate a dragonfly.
Yeah.
It's got floral. It's got fauna.
It's
It's got it all.
Got it all. It's a 5-star beard.
So I met him when I was a youngster. And then you flash forward early 20s, and I got an internship at the David Suzuki Foundation.
Whoa.
Cool.
Yeah, so I worked there for a while. I was like the web editor,
Mhm.
which was not a very exciting job. Friends would be like, "Oh, you're working for David Suzuki Foundation. Well, you're out there saving the planet." I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, that is not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is going on the website and deleting all the comments where people write, 'Was David Suzuki in the Karate Kid?'" Which
my
was
God.
a lot.
That's amazing.
At least once a day, I'm in there like, yeah, nope, gonna delete another one of those.
Yeah.
That was how
But first you comment, you're like, that was Pat Morita. Then you delete it just so they have the information also.
it's you got to be informative.
You know, now that you say that out loud, my elementary school principal looked a lot like David Suzuki, and he was
Really?
like a karate, like he went to the Olympics, and I think he was in the Karate Kid. I think that's what it was. But I can't remember his name.
He was a stand-up
This is
comedian in the
elementary school, you
60s.
said?
Yeah.
Okay, so that might very well be true. That also sounds like exactly what a bunch of elementary school kids would invent as a rumor.
No, but I know he went to the Olympics. but
I heard Principal so and so.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing Colin would delete off the David Suzuki website.
Working there meant that I got to meet him again.
Yeah.
Right. And so after like a big, he's not like in the office every day. Or
Yeah.
anything.
No.
He's got shit to do.
Mhm.
He'd show up every now and then. And after like a company wide meeting, we filter out. I'm like, I gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I met you.
Yeah.
I was young. It
Yeah.
was crazy, right?
Cool, right? Yeah.
And I told him about the dragonfly.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me and he's nodding. And then he goes, are you sure it was a dragonfly? It could have been a damselfly. No one cares, David.
Yeah.
Like the point of the story wasn't the bug.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It could have been a damselfly.
Wow.
Doesn't change the story whatsoever.
Wow.
Oh my god.
But here's
That's-
this guy just like, hold on, can I correct you?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it might be a different bug.
He's like, correcting
my
people is why I got in the game, baby.
So he remembered?
No, he didn't remember.
Oh.
But I mean, that's the other thing too. He's like, oh, it might have been a damselfly, as though
Like,
I
whoa.
knew enough
David,
to be like, you know what?
you know,
I think it was.
in retrospect.
So it just there's so many dragonflies or damselflies flying into his beard on a regular basis that he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
As established, they live there.
True.
There at all times.
Oh, that's so strange, but also kind of reaffirming that he's really into nature. He
Super into
just
nature.
lacks all other personality
Yeah.
like
he's-
traits.
He's like, oh, the concept of meeting an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
That I can throw that aside. Tell me more about when I connected with a bug.
He puts his hand on your shoulder. He's like, Colin, you know how many 11-year-olds I've met in my line of work? And you're like, I quit.
Do you know how many times I've spoken at an assembly?
Yeah.
I've met a lot of 11-year-olds.
Yeah. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. When I worked at HMV downtown, celebrities would come in there a lot, and
Yeah.
they don't like to be recognized. I found, though, I did meet Reese Witherspoon, and I think she was literally half my height.
Aw,
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, you like that?
I love her.
Colin, have you ever
Are
been to
you
a?
sure it was Reese Witherspoon?
Oh, yeah, it
it
was-
could have been a damselfly.
It actually was an
Or
11-year-old.
Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. Colin Sharp, have you ever been to a naturopath? I don't want to do transitions at all on this.
These transitions, who cares?
I don't
Yeah.
want to. I just want to ask you the good questions.
So for years I had stomach problems.
Mhm.
And like I'm in like stand-up comedy, I would get nerves
Yeah.
before a show, and people talk about like this is not an uncommon experience, but
Mhm.
some people, like especially before a big show, they're a little unsettled. They
Mhm.
might throw it in reverse.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
know what I
okay.
mean, you know?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that would happen to me. And but it happened like a lot.
Okay.
And I was like, eventually after, like, you know, when you first start stand up, you're like, oh, you know, I'll shake the nerves at some point, and it'll be fine. And then you're like, oh, this might be a health thing. I was like, I was like, and it was, you know, it's like, it was going through like my mid to late 20s and stuff. I'm like, oh, is this what people mean when they say like getting older?
Yeah.
Like just things are wrong now, you know?
Yeah.
But it was always like the things that would make me feel the worst are the things that like objectively should make you feel bad.
Mm.
Be like, oh yeah, you drank a whole milkshake with your burger. Like, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, am I lactose intolerant, or is that just an insane thing for a person to do?
yeah.
So I was like, kept finding all these reasons to push it aside. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Like, hey, maybe there's something easy I could do
Yeah.
and avoid this nightmare situation. And I'll go to a naturopath and see if I've got like allergies and stuff like that. And I go, and so the guy's like asking me, you know, all these questions, and every question he asked, like he phrased it as a question, but you could tell he knew what the answer was already. You know, it'd be like, oh, and so when, you know, I would say like, oh yeah, so I feel sick sometimes, like especially like in the morning or like before a show, and then he would just like have another follow-up question, just like, oh, so you have trouble falling asleep with this? It's like,
How did you?
we hadn't brought that up yet.
Yeah. I was getting to that.
So he's like narrowing in on all these things, and I'm like, this man is a genius.
Yes.
He's nailing
He's a
everything
psychic.
about me. And then he set me up on this. By the way, as it turns out, like the things that will make me feel sick are like the things that you would expect. You know, it's like, oh yeah, don't eat like processed wheat, like
Mhm.
the more white bread the carb is, the worse.
Yeah.
Dairy's bad. All these things that are like, okay, I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
But the big thing was that he's like, oh yeah, you just gotta sleep. Like, oh, all right.
Like,
He's like, have you been getting enough sleep? I'm like, no, I
No.
haven't. How dare you ask
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Like, so, but he said that, he's like, you know what? Well, we'll figure out a whole plan for you. We'll get you back on track. And so it was like this 3-stage thing. And in the first stage, it's like, okay, here's all this stuff that you're not supposed to eat right now. And it's like, okay, don't eat white bread, don't eat white potatoes, white rice, dairy, chocolate, like avoid like alcohol. And he's going through this list of things where I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. And then he's like, and and don't eat broccoli.
What?
My reaction is just like, oh, broccoli is the most healthy food
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the world.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, no, it's too tough to digest for your sensitive little stomach.
Oh no.
you need to work up to broccoli.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like looking at the degrees on the wall, like, okay, so now I don't trust that institution. I don't trust
Yeah,
that
yeah.
institution. Just like, this is not, but fuck, it worked.
What?
Like, yeah, because it's like all these things it's like the
Cruciferous?
cruciferous.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
You
Are
knew that
a
word?
naturopath?
I'm familiar with this sort of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's like the cruciferous family of vegetables, which is
Yeah.
like broccoli and kale and Brussels sprouts and all these things.
You couldn't have any of those?
Yeah, it's like not allowed to have any of those.
Yeah.
They're too tough for your little stomach.
They're all the ones that you would like ferment and pickle though. Like, I mean, well, except for broccoli, like I've never heard of that, but like they do that with like cauliflower and like cabbage is like
See,
kimchi, like anything that you can do that with,
carrots.
it apparently is hard to digest.
Carrots
Yeah.
seem like they'd be hard to digest. No?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's starchy. It's a lot of like
It's
sugar.
just
I
tough.
was never limited on carrots.
Good.
But yeah, it's
your eyesight must be great.
not to show off and nothing.
Let's do a quick eye exam
my
after
eyesight's
this.
dog shit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a contact lens wearer,
I didn't know that.
Oh.
but I got crazy contacts. I put them in at night.
Wait, what?
What?
Over
Huh?
sleeping
Huh?
contacts?
What? Yeah.
They just block out your vision so you can sleep?
It's legit. I've had them since I was like 12, and instead of putting in a contact lens during the day,
Mhm.
it's like this little plastic contact lens that's like laser made to the molecule or whatever the hell,
Wow.
and it works like a little mold.
Uh-huh.
And you pop it in your eye, go to sleep for the night, wake up, pop it out, and it has like reformed your
No.
Oh,
Eye.
cool.
and it'll like wear off during the day, so I need to put it back in.
Your eyes go back to flat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Just-
so interesting.
Just flatten up against my face.
I'm gonna
I've
put my
never
eye
heard of that
molders
before.
back in.
Yeah.
That's crazy technology.
I have never met anyone else that has even heard of them, let alone uses them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it means that I don't have to have like contacts in my eyes during the day. I'm just like swimming in pools with my eyes open. Like,
you're the-
what a dream.
You're the coolest.
We can see everything underwater.
Yeah.
I think someone should invent basically like a sleeping mask that are contacts that just make it so you can't see and then make you look like Tyler the Creator. Black your eyes out.
I think you should make that.
I think I
I
probably
think
should.
you should.
I think I probably
It's
should.
your idea.
What-
Why
why-
give it to someone else?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you going around spreading
I
that
don't know.
idea?
It's just
Giving away all your good
I'm
ones.
just too generous.
I'm just a generous
I'm
boy.
just too generous.
I just want the rest of the world to catch up to me.
That's how generous I am.
Let's all create together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, your drink's done. Or is it almost?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's always hard to tell with like these fancy
mason
like,
jars. Yeah.
when the drinks they come and they're like this tall and you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pace yourself.
No, you just
Santa
roof guy's
Claus.
back.
Yeah.
Did you say Santa Claus?
Yes, probably. There was a guy up there last week, I think.
Couple weeks
just
ago, yeah.
Stomping around while Randy Newmeyer was trying to promote her album on this show. All you're promoting is Garden Center, so I think we're okay.
Or do you have anything to promote?
Oh no, I'm not doing anything. I stay at home
Yeah?
and I work from home right now.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. This is this is the closest thing. This is like the only show thing I've done since
Oh,
March.
well, thank you for
Really?
coming
Yeah.
on the show.
Oh, I feel blessed. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Colin.
Yeah. In regular times, I run shows around Vancouver. Check them out
Yeah.
when society starts doing their thing again.
I can't wait. I've been to one show and it was at Kino in 6 months.
Yeah.
But right before COVID, I was saying to myself, I'm tired of going to shows every night. And then it happened and I loved it for the first month. And now I'm just lonely.
We were so burnt out.
I know. That's the cool thing about me and you is we still find a way to get burnt out.
We're burnt out now.
We're burnt out. I just want to congratulate Alexi on her first callback today.
Hey.
That was really great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Missed it. Jeff, did you see that?
Jeff, you see that?
Did you see? I did it.
See how lucky you are? All right, Colin. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you, Kevvy. Thank you, Alexi.
Thank you.